And Louise, on that post for All Life, a little bit of confused messaging this week over the future of As Ever. Is it being put on hold? Is it launching new products? What's actually going on?
Well, who knows? I don't think even Meghan knows what her so-called lifestyle brand is doing. As Ever, of course, which used to be the huge mouthful American Riviera Orchard until she completely ruined the trademark process. So, look, in the last week alone, we've been told that there's new products coming on Instagram. I mean, I'm thinking maybe it might be honey, given there's been so much footage and social media narrative about her beekeeping. And so you even see Lilibet, you know, obviously disguised in a suit, also doing some beekeeping with her mum. So there's the Instagram post. There's an interview she did with the magazine in which she said that no, there'll be no new products until 2026. And on the other hand, she's saying she's pausing her lifestyle brand because she's worried that maybe the quality of the stock or the quantity of the stock as well is not up to par, and people will be annoyed if they try and order some jam or some flour sprinkles and they don't actually get to buy these things. Of course, she did engender one of those classic marketing techniques by making everything sell out very quickly because there was a real sense of FOMO created, and she only had something like less than 50 jars of jam and they all went at lightning speed, some of which were given away to celebrities as well. So it's an absolute muddle. I mean, she's playing at being an entrepreneur. Clearly she should have got a proper CEO or entrepreneur in charge of the business, and she may not have found herself in this mess, but I don't believe she was able to find the right person.
And Bronte, on a more fun side, and obviously it was Lilibet's birthday this week, the Sussexes were off to Disneyland for the week. Can you tell us about the trip? Anything notable about it?
Well, yes. I mean, I feel like we were all quite captivated by that birthing video, but it was, in fact, Lilibet's birthday, and the family did enjoy 2 days, as Meghan posted on Instagram, 2 days at Disneyland, and she posted a whole video which included, footage of them running around the place and going on rides, all wearing their Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse ears, and also meeting Elsa from Frozen. It's quite a cute video. Interestingly, she has included some pictures in there of the two children front on, but then she's put emojis over their face because, as we know, she hasn't wanted to. We have seen Archie's face in the past, and Lilibet's only once in full, which was on her first birthday. But since then, she is keeping it sort of partially obscured. But they seem to have a really nice time in Disneyland. Again, I was reminded of the fact she's an influencer now because it was the "Thank you Disneyland for having us" post. Something that was very interesting about it was I wondered how they managed to do 2 days there without shutting down the park and without having people taking pictures of them and releasing that all over social media. You'd imagine there'd be members of the public, but there are reports that they got a special sort of celebrity VIP package which is offered to high-profile guests, which sees them sort of driven around backstage and also given the cast entrances and exits so that they're not in the public space as much. And also it appears that the kids may have had their little cute Mickey and Minnie Mouse ears on while meeting members of the Disneyland cast, like Elsa, for example, and were wearing glasses, so that would have kept their privacy a little bit further. But yes, that was how they celebrated Lilibet's birthday. We don't know how Archie's birthdays have been celebrated. We've gone really big for Lily's 4th, but it does seem to be the first time we're actually getting a real glimpse into how the Sussexes celebrate their kids' birthdays.
Yeah, and that takes me to my next question, Louise. You know, we've seen some photos that we haven't been released before. We're definitely seeing more of the kids in recent months. Obviously very tightly managed. And look, I have no objection. I mean, they're very little kids, and I know they've been very protective of their kids in the past and still to an extent now. But what's your observation?
Oh, I agree, Caro. And look, we know that the Sussexes are no longer working royals, so there's no obligation to sort of wheel them out for state occasions or anything, as perhaps as William and Kate have to. And they're very careful about the narrative they put out about the children, the twerking video aside, clearly. And some of the photos that have been released for Lilibet's birthday are absolutely beautiful. My favourite, I think, is the one where Harry's holding her as a newborn and they're locking eyes. It's actually gorgeous, sort of classic father and daughter newborn picture. There's a lovely one of Meghan. It looks like she's in a boat with Lilibet and sort of cuddling her. And there's a nice one, of course, shot of Harry and Lilibet from behind where they're walking along a beach with some palm trees in the background and they're holding hands. And, of course, Bronte just mentioned Archie's birthday. We were treated to a photograph of him, again, shot from behind, looking at a sunset for his 6th birthday recently. So I do feel this is where they've been very strategic. They want to give a hint of warmth. They want to give a hint to the public of what the children are like, but without giving away their entire identity. And that's some job to actually achieve that, I think.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Bronte, a few reports this week about the reconciliation between the royal family and Harry being doomed. Now, doomed is a big word. It's a heavy word. What's the latest and why the shift in the narrative?
Oh, it's forever sad to hear that it's all sort of trending in the wrong direction when it comes to the reconciliation there. But this is largely from a report from the UK's Telegraph. Camilla Tominey has written about the fact that, you know, it's been 5 years now. There's been endless talk about reconciliation and olive branch. And look, it often seems to be driven by the media. But the truth is a lot of this is fueled by both camps, particularly the Sussexes. And even most recently, which is why we are again talking about it here, is a month ago, Harry himself publicly called for reconciliation with his family. So looking at it there, Camilla has gone sort of behind the scenes of the palace there to find out what the mood music is. But it does appear that while there are, as she says, exploratory conversations around how that could look if Harry does, you know, get back into regular communication with his father. I think Prince William's a lost cause with Harry, to be honest, but it does seem to be around the King and Harry. And there are just genuine concerns. And the reason the word doomed is used is the trust, because so often the things that are said between them have ended up in the public domain. There is concern that as the rift goes on, and particularly with the King's ailing health, there are concerns that it does reflect badly on the King, and it may do down the track. At the moment, there still is a lot of support for him here in the UK, as we know, and as we discussed at the top of the show, Harry and Meghan are not very popular here, so there is a lot of support for the royals. But there have been, it appears that there have been reports, you know, they are looking at how there could be reconciliation. It could potentially happen when Harry's here for the Invictus Games in Birmingham in 2027. But the reality is that whatever the King arranges with Harry has to be something that can be tolerated by his heir, Prince William. And it just seems that Prince William has absolutely no appetite to reconcile with his brother. And again, as I said, the word doomed is used because at the end of the day, there's just no trust between the palace and the Sussexes. And that seems to be the sticking point that they just can't get past.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. I think that's a very good observation. Louise and Bronte, thank you so much for your time.